Are you pregnant? God, one day, Mpreg is going to be a reality, and I'm going to be first through the fucking door, man. First through the door. Don't question mark me. You're saying it wouldn't be an incredible advantage to the human race if men could also lift the burden off women and be part of the... I mean, obviously, we're still part of the reproductive cycle, but be a more major part of it? Mothers are God's strongest soldiers, and one day I hope science gets to the point where I can become a mother. Who would impregnate you, though? I'm imagining in the world where Mpreg is real, that they collect an egg from the woman. So they collect an egg from my wife. They implant it into my artificial womb. And then they cut open my belly and I give birth via C-section. So it's still her egg, my sperm. It's just that I carry the baby in an artificial womb. And I don't know how the hell that would work, and my pelvis would be shattered, and my body is just not set up for it. The male body is not adaptable enough for that. But again, that's where science has to come in and try to help. Why are you typing WMD? Like I'm fucking George Bush looking for a reason to invade a Middle Eastern country. What the fuck does WMD mean? I understand spamming W. What are the M and the D? Oh, it was supposed to be a question mark. You have to hold M to get to the question mark on your phone. So you typed M in the chat instead of a question mark. I see, I see. I do not like the way the Tactibear's eyes are bulging. I do not like that. Now, if I could do that to the penguin, though, if they had a version of Dan the Penguin where you squeezed around its neck and its eyes bulge, you squeeze it, sign me up. Sliggy would love a wingman version. Can you imagine if it was a wingman, but it was like a wingman kebab? And you were just slowly roasting it over a Spitfire? Like that kind of thing? Again, chat, I've been reading Three Body Problem, and there was a passage last night that I just read that said, I'm a simple man. If you look down my throat, you can see out my ass. And I thought, that is a wonderful phrase. And what I'm thinking there is, that's what wingman's like. So one skewer, one kebab stick. Is he really called 5 centimeters and not 5 cm? If I see this, my brain says centimeters. Like, if I see this, my brain says milliliters. If my brain sees this, I'm not going to call him 5 km. I'm going to call him 5 kilometers. Like, you know, I don't know what he intends his name to be. I don't know. But I say what I see. It's capitalized, though? Okay, sorry. So his name should be 5 centimeters! In Chinese, centimeters wouldn't be cm. What do they call... Do they have an abbreviation for centimeters? But I mean, also, that's a bit of a silly thing to say, because this wouldn't mean slowly in Chinese. Do you know what I mean? The players frequently use stuff that isn't based on Chinese, because their names have to be in Latin script. It is CM in China? I am Chinese. Oh, you little shits. Lying and one guying. Making me believe you. Why is it always got to be a guy, though, for the one guy? I'm using guy as a gender-neutral term, which I understand is weird, but at the same time, like, the word guy is weird anyway. Calling a group of people guy because Guy Fawkes was called Guy is that's already mad enough. Just say a glorp. I do like the idea of getting one glorped. What's up, glorps? Glorp feels like a nice gender-neutral word. Is that really the origin of the word? Yeah, the origin of the word is because... So you got this guy called Guy Fawkes, right? He's a Catholic from, I think, England, who went to Spain, kind of got radicalized, came back to England to try to blow up the Houses of Parliament because Catholics at the time were basically being treated as second-class citizens. The history of the UK is like, it flips between Protestants are getting oppressed, Catholics are getting oppressed, mostly Catholics. And at all times, the Jews are just getting ruined. There are, I mean, any time in history, anywhere you go in the world, the Jews are getting ruined. So that's kind of like, you know, that's a given at that point. But in terms of Guy Fawkes, right, he's a Catholic guy that tries to blow up the Houses of Parliament because he wants he wants Catholics to be in charge. It's not necessarily, by the way, that he wants like fair. He doesn't want equal situations between the Catholics and the Protestants. I think he's straight up just like I want Catholics to be in charge, and we should actually be the ones oppressing the Protestants. But I don't think he's necessarily like a freedom fighter or whatever. But he tries to blow up the Houses of Parliament. So I think they hang him or something. I'm not exactly sure how they execute him. But then in the future, they build these bonfires and they put effigies of him on them. So you burn like a straw guy who's literally named Guy after Guy Fawkes. And then there's so many of these straw people being made that they just call them guys. If you have a straw man, it's a guy. And then at some point that turns into calling real people, real blokes, guys. Just because they look a bit like straw people, and the straw people are supposed to look like this bloke called Guy Fawkes. I probably got some details on it wrong, but that's the general gist anyway. So the word guy is the original straw man? I mean, I think effigies predated Guy Fawkes. They didn't come up with the concept of an effigy and burning it for Guy Fawkes. So in an alternate word, guy is for women? Well, I mean, if Guy Fawkes had been a woman, sure. What the fuck is a bloke? Do Americans not say bloke? Bloke's a fantastic word. Bloke just means a human male. A bloke. Bloke equals dude in American? Kind of, but I feel like dude has a bit of a connotation with, like the type of person. Like, would you call Trump a dude? I don't think you'd call Trump a dude, but he's a bloke. Actually, I suppose he's not. Bloke does also have something to do with the personality. Bloke, but like dude culture is more like either what is that movie called? The one about bowling? The Big Lebowski. Yeah, The Big Lebowski. Like Big Lebowski or someone who goes surfing. Those are the two things I think of when I think of the like stereotypical dude. But if you think of bloke, you're thinking of like a working class guy who goes down the pub who's just like a all right guy to be around. Just like, he's a bloke. He's a bloke. He likes doing guy things. Stereotypical English male. He likes drinking and football, and he's just a fucking bloke. So like, if you said Trump is a bloke, I think that'd be a bit weird. But you can definitely use it as a generic term as well. Same as dude. What about chap? Chap's a bit more upper class, or at least upper middle class. But again, can be used as a generic term, but it makes you sound a little preppy. It makes you sound a little upper class yourself. Bloke equals lad? No, lad is definitely more that. So like a lad would be like, likes going out on the town, likes chatting up women, likes, I don't know, drives a fucking loud car and stuff. Oh, he's a fucking lad. Like that kind of thing. Like bloke is a bit more, well, it's older for starters. It would be the generation above, and it would also be a bit softer version of that as well, I think. But yeah, you could also just use it as a generic term for a young guy. Like, you could call a small child a lad. Oh, a wee laddie. Oh, look at him, the wee laddie. Lad has a split evolution into either a bloke or a geezer. Now, a geezer, I feel like a geezer is a wheeling, dealing. The 40-year-old guy in a flat cap trying to sell you coke at the back of a club is a geezer. Ardis is a geezer? Yeah, Ardis is a geezer. Geezer is cool, though. There can be cool geezers. Like, I would say the people from Only Fools and Horses, I think they're geezers. A geezer means an old person around here? Well, if you said old geezer, then yeah, that would just be like a generic term for an old person, I think. But if you're like if you're in like your 40s and 50s and you're a geezer, that implies more about like you're a bit of like a grifter, a slick individual kind of thing.